Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is June 30th, it's Friday. We have had a tremendous amount of rain today, off and on all day. Now right now it's cleared up, which is nice, and you can see now you see blue skies, which is nice. But for a while it was crazy today. We had heavy downpours, lots of rain today. So that's okay, these things happen. So I wanted to do a video today. I want to talk about, is a financial collapse imminent? Okay, is that going to be happening like any time? Okay, so one of the things obviously that has to do with why I'm doing this video, let's talk about Illinois, and you know that they are basically bankrupt. Puerto Rico, basically bankrupt. Now Puerto Rico is not a state, it's a commonwealth of us, but you know, they're part of our country. They're basically bankrupt as well. And you know, what's going on? I mean, you know, you look at how many, you know, trillions of dollars were in debt, and you know, it's just it's insanity, and we're never going to get ahead of it. And so something has to give at some point. There's no way that the system can continue to go on the way that it's going and thrive. It's just not going to happen. And so, you know, how do you prepare for that? Okay, so one of the things that I would definitely recommend, I'm not saying pull your money out of the stock market, okay? You know, I think that there's going to be, you know, a definite another crash like we had before? Probably at some point. I don't make predictions and say when, but the market is, you know, it's way overpriced right now, and at some point something's going to give. You know, that's just a matter. That's always how it happens all the time like that. But my suggestion to people, and I tell people this all the time, I wouldn't keep all my money in the bank. I know that in our country what we have a tendency to do nowadays is everybody has a debit card. Everybody has, you know, the credit cards, and they don't even use cash. They just use their debit if their money's in a checking account, whatever. My suggestion would be to keep a certain amount of money on hand financially. And how much should you keep on hand? I mean, if you can do it, a couple $1,000 maybe, you know, and just have that, just in that as emergency backup, that if for whatever reason you can't get to the bank and you can't, you know, use your ATM, or if everything was frozen, at least you have money to be able to get some stuff that you need for your family. I mean, that would just be my advice on that part of it. And then you just, like I said, and continue to get ready as best you can. Eventually, guys, the financial situation of this country is atrocious, and at some point it has to give. It cannot continue to go on like it's doing. They're going to either have to do some kind of a reset or something. They will do something. It just, like I said, it just cannot continue to go where they're going. They're continuing to print money with nothing to back it up, okay? So it devalues the dollar, and so it puts us in a really bad situation. And I love how, like, the politicians are going to blame the unions and the union contracts, and that's why they can't afford to do this and that and the other thing. Well, you know what? Be smarter with your planning. You know, I'm sorry, but, you know, these people work their whole lives, they work hard, and then they get to retirement age, and you're like, yeah, okay, well, screw you. That's not right either. And so, you know, a lot of these unions, you know, they're trying to, like I said, they're trying to blame it on the unions, but you know, it's just, it's tough. I mean, there's a lot going on. You know, we spend so much on the military every year, and you know, we do need to have a strong military. I agree with that, but we don't need to be policemen around the world, all over the world. I definitely do not agree with that. So, listen. I want your thoughts on this topic. I want to hear your input on this. Is a collapse coming? Is it going to happen? Is it going to happen soon? You know, what do you guys think? And I really want to hear what you have to think about this. I mean, because if you look at it and you study what's going on and you look how things are going, it's scary. I mean, it is really scary. And don't get me wrong, there's any number of things that could happen, but, you know, a financial collapse is definitely one of them. Okay? And what's going on, I mean, it can't continue to keep going like it's going. It just can't. You have all these welfare programs, and you have so many people on social services, you know, not because they can't work, it's because they won't work, you know. We created a generation of drug addicts, and, you know, get all these people hooked on the pills, and then when they cut the pills off, then they're turning to heroin. I mean, we got a heroin epidemic in this country. And so you're setting up an entire generation of people for failure, you know. And that's what they want. They want you to be a freaking zombie. They want you to, be addicted to freaking medication, because then they got you. They own you, And that's not what it should be about, guys. It should be about as much freedom as we possibly can. And every time we turn around, they take more and more of it away. And that's a mess. It really, really, truly is. And I'm gonna break talking about this for a second. And I wanted to show you the garden. It is really, really doing well. It's really taken off. The tomato plants are really doing well. And you guys got to remember here now, this has basically been in the ground a month. I think we planted these the 22nd or 23rd of May. Something that was in that week period of time. So for basically being in the ground for a month, I mean, they're doing awesome. I mean, these freaking zucchini are just absolutely going crazy here, which is really nice. And the cucumbers are doing well over here. Onions through the center there. I got one tomato plant, if you see that one way over there, that died. But I planted 18, so I'll have 17 tomato plants that are going to come up and do well. Everything else is doing fine. So anyway, so now I wanted to talk to you real quick too about, yesterday was overcast, real cloudy day, and was the first full day of the new solar up. And we ended up doing pretty well. We pulled in, now it was overcast all day long. Like right now you see the sun is out, even though there's a little bit of clouds right now. We didn't have any sun at all yesterday at all. And we ended up pulling in combined 4.1 kilowatt hours for the day, even though it was a cloudy, overcast day. So that is absolutely awesome. I cannot wait to get these panels up higher into a rack as well. And that all comes down to when I can afford to get all the lumber to do it. But I'm going to take you in real quick. I want to take you in and I want to show you what we got coming in so far today. Now, like I said, we've had a lot of rain today as well. So I'm actually looking forward to when we have a really super sunny day, just to see what we end up bringing in on a day that it's not... hold on a second, let me turn this on. Okay, what we've brought in so far today, and we still got power coming in right now. On this unit, we got 1.9 kilowatt hours. And on this one, we got 2.4. So we're at 4.3 on the day, and we're still bringing in power at the moment. So again, like I said, we had a lot of rain again today. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing how the system does on a day when we have, decent weather for the entire day. That'll be really nice to see. But actually, I'm real pleased. If it's a crappy day and I'm pulling in at least 4 kilowatt hours, I'm not going to complain about that. So it's, like I said, it's a work in progress, and this was the next step, and I'm real pleased with what we got going on and what's happened so far with that. So anyway, getting back to the subject, I know I have a tendency to go off course, but I wanted to show you the garden, and I wanted to talk about the solar a little bit. But yeah, so anyway, what's going on with the world? What's going on with our country? And the politicians, all they continue to do is line their pockets, and they don't give a crap about you. And if you think that they do, you are sadly mistaken. You truly are, because they only care about themselves and how they can line their own pockets and make more money. I tell people all the time, we are the modern day slaves. And people go, well, what are you talking about? We're sold this bill of goods that you have to have the big house, that you have to have the 2 cars and the vacation property, and go on vacation twice a year and spend all this money, and spend a lot of money on Christmas every year. And you spend the next several months, paying off all those bills that you didn't really need to have. We're sold this bill of goods, so then all of a sudden now you're a slave to your job, because if you don't go to work, they're going to take that big house away, they're going to repossess those cars, and you just lose everything. So it's if you keep your expenses down and don't live above your means, you're a happier person. Time is something that we can never get back, guys. It really, really isn't. You're never going to get time back, and that's an important thing to remember. Tomorrow is not here yet. Yesterday is gone. There's nothing you can do about yesterday, but you can do something about tomorrow. And like I said, if you're unhappy in your situation, change your situation. Really, I mean that's the biggest step. That's the first step. And I had an awakening. Like I said, I was on the treadmill for a long time, worked a buku bunch of hours, and we had the big house and all that. And I woke up one day and I'm like, man, I don't want to do this anymore. And I didn't want to keep pushing the way I was pushing because I was headed towards an early death with a heart attack or something, you know. And so I decided to make a change. And I know for myself, and you know, and the kids too, and especially see it in Eddie with my son being autistic. Once we moved out here, it's much more peaceful. The pace is not so hectic, and you know, the expenses are not like they used to be. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, and it's nice. I mean, and it's very enjoyable, and I like that. I mean, I don't have that pressure like I had before, and I'll never have that again because I'm not going to put myself in that situation. But you know, we are slaves. If you don't think you're a slave, I don't care what color you are a slave because you are working for the system. And you know, you think about how much money you have in your pocket at the end of each week after you've worked all those hours, okay? How much money are going out to the bank? Or you end up paying 3 times as much for whatever the house was worth in the first place if you have a 30-year mortgage. You know, how much are going out to the credit cards when they're charging 25, 26% interest, which is, you know, that's like freaking loan sharking. I mean, it's insane. That is just insane. And you know, it's the way the system is right now. But you know, people get bought up and they get caught up in that. You know, people go to school and they get their education, and they'll get stupid degrees. And I won't say which stupid degrees. I'm just going to say stupid degrees. And then they come out of college and they're $100,000 in debt, and nobody will give them a job because they can't go in there making the money that they need to make. And now they got this big hole that they got to try to, you know, to do something else. You know, why not go to trade school? Why not go and learn how to be an electrician, learn how to be a plumber, learn how to be a carpenter? You know, those are skills that you will always have, always use, and you can make a real fine living doing that, a real fine living. But nobody wants to do that because heaven forbid that you actually did hard work. But anyway, guys, listen, now I'm rambling, and that's what I do. So it is Friday, like I said. The kids are off to mom's for the weekend. So I am not sure what I'm going to do yet, but it'll be quiet, I know that. And anyway, so remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, so we never know what's going to happen. So make sure you tell those people how you care, that you care about how you feel. And remember, with anything that we do in life, it's STD. It's one step at a time, it's one thing at a time, and it's one day at a time. And that's the biggest thing. Work at it methodically. You will reach your goals, whatever they may be. You can get there, you know. And the only person that's going to stop you from doing it is you. That's it. There's nobody else going to stop you from that. You're the only one. So listen, I'm going to jump off of here, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Be safe, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.